Joined by MVP right here, Montel Vontavious Porter.
That would be me.
WrestleMania weekend, big weekend. Omos has a big match. Brock Lesnar. Obviously,
The biggest match. Literally. The biggest match on the biggest stage at the biggest show.
You obviously see potential in Omos. If there's somebody that hasn't caught on yet and seen what you've seen, what would you say is that one, not to be cliche, but the it factor? What are they not seeing from him yet that they will?
Well, first of all, it's not just that I have. You got to remember, Brock Lesnar had to accept the match with Omos. So obviously he sees something in matching up with Omos. AJ Styles was the first ballot Hall of Famer. He saw something in Omos. The Undertaker, who frequently checks in on Omos, his performances and his growth. There are a lot of people who see the upside in Omos. He's 7'3". He's 400 pounds. He's a former basketball player and soccer player. So he has the agility, explosiveness, size, and strength of like no one before him. Nobody, no other giant in the WWE had all the tools that the Nigerian giant possesses. And I see people tend to be overly critical of him, but he's only 4 years in. And in 4 years, he's facing Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and he's 30 years old. So he's got another 10, 15 years ahead of him, career-wise. So you're seeing a baby Nigerian giant. And I can understand where a lot of people who aren't as intellectually astute or sophisticated would be able to see all that Omos brings to the table, and shame on them. In time, they won't be able to not recognize the greatness that is Omos, because one day he's going to be WWE champion.
You mentioned The Undertaker, seeing something, singing his praises. Was there anybody that kind of saw Omos first and maybe mentioned him to you that put him on your radar, that you really were like, okay, if this guy's paying attention, then maybe I need to too?
No, as soon as I saw him team up with AJ Styles, I started to pay attention to him, because, again, AJ's no joke. AJ is, a great,
AJ.
Yeah. So for AJ to say, hey, I like this guy and I want to do something with him, he's not just a big guy. He's a big athletic guy who's extremely intelligent. And, people look at Omos and just see this big giant, but they don't know that this guy's got a college degree, extremely intellectual. He can paint. I mean, he's a really deep guy beyond just being the 7'3", 410-pound Nigerian giant.
You've been an in-ring competitor, WWE superstar. Obviously, you're in a different phase of your career. Do you have a match, two-part question, a match from your in-ring career and a match from your current run right now that the one as a wrestler that highlights who you or set out to be as a wrestling performer, that one that shows you as a complete wrestler, and then one that, you've really just enjoyed being along for the ride, whether it's Hurt Business or Omos? Anything come to mind like that?
Well, the Hurt Business obviously is very, very special because Shelton Benjamin is a true friend of mine. We've been friends. We live less than 5 minutes from each other. And Bobby Lashley is the same. The three of us have been friends, across different companies, across different countries for well over a decade. So our relationship is organic. And then Cedric Alexander had a relationship with Shelton from their time at Ring of Honor together. So, when Shelton said, I vouch for this guy, that's all I needed to hear. And then Cedric and I have developed a wonderful relationship. So the organic nature of the Hurt Business, the real friendship, and all of us being able to come together and achieve championships. Bobby being the WWE champion, Shelton and Cedric being the tag champions, and me kind of being the coach, bringing that all together. It's one of the highlights of my career for certain. But a match that would define who I was as an in-ring competitor would be my very first time challenging for the United States Championship at my first WrestleMania. I think that match actively illustrates peak MVP.
Final question for you. You said that you came back to wrestling so that your son could see you in the business. Has
Not
that
in the business, in the
wrestling in the ring?
Right.
Sorry, you came back so that he could see you in the ring. Has that mentality changed your overall perception of the wrestling business? That now you're doing it for your son and not just for yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. My entire approach. But now I'm not just doing it. I stopped doing it for myself some time ago. I mean, I take pride in everything I do, but my son, who's watching watching me every week, but the individuals that I deal with on a business perspective, the Hurt business, Omos, I'm doing this for them as well. So, I've been successful and I know how to get success out of other people so I can help elevate others to achieve their goals. I've achieved virtually every goal I set out to achieve, and now I can help others do it. And I'm good with that, doing for others.